Good morning. Welcome. I'm Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. I'm also from Harmony on High Street in Campbelltown, Tasmania. I want to make sure you can hear me because I had problems last month, hopefully resolved, but I want to make sure that I am being heard. Otherwise, I'm just like the lips are moving but nothing's coming out, sort of thing. So if you could let me know if you could hear me, I'd greatly appreciate that, just to make sure that we are good to go. So I am here to host our personal healing event for some of my Temple of Balance patrons for January 2026. I have 4 people on my list today, and I have you again here in my froggy pot. Hi, Jackie. Just making sure you can hear me. If you could let me know, I'd appreciate that. So I have your names here in my pot, and I'm going to pull your name out and tune into your energy and see what comes up. Thank you, Jackie, and welcome. Okay, so it sounds like I am being heard, so I can just flow forward. So with each connection today, I'm going to be connecting with each person for about 10 minutes, give or take a few minutes either side, depending on the energy and where the energy is going during the connection. At the beginning and the end of each connection, I'm going to be pulling a healing energy card. So I have my healing energy cards here. We have 2 decks combined. We have Healing Energy Cards Deck 1. This is the upgraded version. And the new Healing Energy Cards Deck 2. Well, I say new, they were released in 2023. So I guess they're getting older as each year passes. But I will be using this deck at the beginning and the end of each connection. It's just the way I like to do things. So as I'm tuning into each person, if I'm tuning into you, I recommend that you open yourself up to receiving what you need. I do trust that whatever comes through will be what you need for your highest truth. And I trust that I'm interpreting the energy as best as I can as I connect with you. If you're waiting for your turn or you're not on the list today, I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I'm sure something shared that is assigned to someone else. I'm sure there's something that will also resonate with you. I receive emails all the time from people telling me that that message or that connection with that person actually made a lot of sense to me as well. So be open to receiving. Hopefully you are open to receiving. What I would be doing if I was waiting for my turn is I would be listening with my ears, but I'd also be listening with my body and my heart, and noticing the things that really stand out as a little bit louder, or something I might be have a reaction to, an instant reaction to, and use my body and my ears' ability to hear, use these senses to absorb what I need from the connections. So the way I connect is I know the configuration of my body and how it feels to be in my skin. I know this very well. So I'm been very aware of this for a long time. So I know what it feels like to be me. And as soon as I tune into someone, I start feeling new things in my body that I don't typically feel being me. So I am very sensitive to those changes, and sometimes they are very minor, very subtle. So I need to be sensitive to those shifts that I'm feeling. Also, the visions that I get as I'm connecting with people. What happens is I'm tuning into what is loudest in your energy, and what's loudest always gets our attention first. Even if we're doing a meditation, if we're doing, let's say we're doing a past life meditation, whatever's loudest in regards to our past life memories, whatever's impacting us the most at the time, is always going to be what gets our attention first. So what's loudest in your energy gets my attention first. And then it's up to me to try and figure out what the energy is trying to tell me. So I share that as I go, as a way to help travel through things. So I know that I must be hitting something reasonably correctly if the energy keeps moving. If we go from this and we flow to that, and I say something and then something shifts to somewhere else. I know that this energy moving shows me that I'm kind of reasonably well on track with what I'm picking up. If things are a bit stuck or they're not really moving, then I just need to feel my way around that energy so that I can figure out a way to describe it accurately and then get the energy moving again. So the energy is always moving, and it's a good sign for me that I'm hitting the nail on the head, at least partially accurately, to get the energy moving. Otherwise, it just stays still. Take on board what feels right, let the rest go, and let's see what happens. So, this is our personal healing event. I'm personally connecting with 4 specific people. I'm not taking any new requests now. You'll need to become a patron to access this for next month if you're interested. The first person I'm connecting with is Nicki Mohler. Nicki, please take a nice big breath and let's see which card we start with. Now, sometimes I go into the cards, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what I'm feeling. So the first thing I'm feeling, just as I connect with your energy, Nicki, is a heaviness around the belly, especially from the waist. So the waist across the front of the belly and down. It actually feels quite heavy there, almost like you've got a sack or a bag across your belly that's tied across your waist, and it's got like really heavy wet mud in it, is what I'm picking up at the moment. So I'll just pull a card and then we'll look further into that. This is Healing Energy card 2, and it says it's card 96, and it says raw emotion. This is in the depth category. It says hope entering after a period of sadness, loss, or disappointment. A broken heart, grief, everything will work out, and trust in the bigger picture. So this is hope coming in, especially during a period of heavy grief or despair. I mean, this energy's dark. It's got a lot of despair and grief sort of feeling to it. But hope is coming in, so the light is coming in. There's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel we could also add there. So this actually matches very nicely with what I'm feeling, because it feels like this heavy, dark, although it wouldn't be this sort of blacky energy. How I'm feeling, it's very dark brown, like a really dark, rich mud, and it's very, very wet. So it's very, very wet, muddy energy that seems to be suspended, like it's suspended in a hammock or a bag, down from your waist. So we're looking at your navel across your waist, and it's hanging down here. So down your belly, down your sacral chakra. This is what I'm feeling here at the beginning that's loudest in your energy, Nicki. So it feels heavy. It's very watery. So there's a lot of water energy there. The water energy and the water element tends to align with emotions. So that tells me there's a lot of heavy emotion that's been stored or been held, because it feels like it's suspended and held in like a hammock or a bag. It's pinned here. It's been held here in your belly. So your sacral chakra is, our sacral chakra is our center for emotional, sexual, and creative energies. So it does tend to be where we store bottled up emotion. It seems to be the most common place that I've found that where bottled emotion tends to build up is down in the belly. So it's down in the area below the navel. So this is so the area of the womb as well if you're a female. So this energy is very much getting my attention. It feels heavy, like it feels like it's been here for a while, but it does feel very fresh. So it feels fresh, but it's also, you know, when you've got, say, like a suspension bridge, and if you've got a lot of weight in the middle, it just sort of sags and pulls down and down and down and down. That's what this feels like. It just feels very saggy, like it's very much pulling down. So I feel like it's pulling your energy down. And as I say that, I can feel this energy pulling down from your shoulders, and the upper part of your body is also being pulled down with this energy. So I feel like I want to sort of crouch down. It feels like it's really very much pulling down. So it feels like it's pinned here at the waist for some reason. So the waist, what's around your middle, it ties up in here with your navel. So it's most likely connected with the family in some ways. So it could be connected with children that you have born, I think we call it, children that you have born, something connected here with the navel, or it could be a parent, like a mother figure as well. There may even be a link here with mother, your mother, you and the child, but it feels like very much connected with the navel. So I feel like it's who you were born from or who you born from your body. So I feel like there's a connection here. Now, as I talk about that, there's a heavy energy that's coming up in the lower back. So the lower back energy is the area at the back of the sacral chakra. So again, we're still talking about the belly and we're talking about emotions. And the area at the back tends to be the older, the past emotions that we carry with us. So there's a heavy sort of pain that's coming up here at the lower back. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's something that does connect through the sort of the bloodline, but specifically through the natal line. I don't know what you'd call it, but those who have given birth, so your mother that gave birth to you, your mother's mother that gave birth to her, there's probably a connection that goes back, some sort of issue or some type of wound or some pattern, some negative pattern or some healing pattern that has been carried down through and then born out through those children that you have birthed as well, Nikki. So this feels to be very connected through that line. So this energy here at the back, we're just going to deal with that first. So I feel like I want to sort of scoop out or scrape out in your lower back here, in the back of your sacral chakra. It feels like I want to scrape energy out. So this doesn't feel as wet as the energy here at the front, which is very wet and heavy. So very emotionally driven or emotionally held right now. Whereas this energy from the back, it feels very dry. So it feels more like scraping out. So if we had like a rock wall, say a sandstone rock wall, and scraping out the back or a spot in that wall. So it feels very dry, which the dry energy tends to connect more with the mind. So it's showing that there's something that's held here in the past that certainly has an emotional connection because it's in the sacral chakra or the back of it, but it's more connected with the mind. So things that you've been thinking or worrying about, or things that plague your mind, especially from those who have come before you. So I'm thinking like your mother, your mother's mother, and that kind of line, those who gave birth and then that carried down. And this also brings this energy, this tightness here in your heart. So as this energy is kind of scraping out, it feels like, you know, getting in with some type of tool and scraping out this little kind of hole here in the back of your, in your lower back, and scraping that out and just getting all the dust and the grime and the dryness, just getting all that out. So as that's happening, there's a tightness that's coming up here through your heart. So I feel like, and it makes me actually feel quite emotional, I feel like there's something that is connected here with all of this that is very personal, perhaps quite private, but something very much that sort of punches in the heart or has impacted your heart, something quite personal, but it's also quite emotional. So it feels like there's an emotional tie to this this feeling of it being personal. So the tightness, it feels tight, but it feels like it also, your heart wants protection. So there's a guard up here, and I feel like in some ways the guard is needed to protect yourself, maybe to keep boundaries nice and strong and clear so that you aren't pulled into things that you don't need to be pulled into, or so that you can keep yourself strong in the heart to be able to face the things that you've been facing and go through the things that you've been through in the past. So I feel like some of this guard is needed. It's more like a boundary or a protection here over your heart, but also behind that. So if we have like what does it feel like? It feels like one of those doors. I think they call it a concertina door, and it's kind of folded, and you can pull it back or you can pull it closed, and it sort of backs into itself like it folds. So I feel like that sort of been drawn and clipped here at the front. So it feels like it doesn't feel like castle walls or any fortress or anything like that. That would be something that I'd be more cautious about, having like a fortress wall up over our hearts. So it feels a bit more relaxed than that. Like you can open and close the boundaries of your heart as you need to. So I feel like this feels really healthy. So I want to keep those there. this feeling of protection and boundaries that you need. So when you need to, you just pull the shutters, pull the door closed, lock it together. It's like a magnet that just locks it together. And when you feel you need to open your heart, or when you feel a little safer and okay, you can open your heart and sort of let it open up a little bit more. But behind that, it feels like there's a tightness, and it feels like a membrane or a piece of like leather or a piece of coating of some sort. It reminds me of like the membrane of like an egg. So we have the eggshell, and then there's like a membrane sort of thing before we get to the yolk and the white. So it reminds me a bit of this, like a thick skin here, back here, but it feels very tight, almost like it's a skin that was there before and you've outgrown it. You know, like a skin we may find on a reptile. And if it doesn't shed its skin as it grows, then the skin becomes tight, really tight. So it feels like this membrane or this skin here over your heart, it feels really tight to me, which makes me feel like it's old, like an old skin or an old membrane, maybe like a skin, like a thick skin that you've had to put up, but it feels old, almost like you've grown and the skin hasn't adapted or shedded or reproduced itself as you've grown. So it feels like in some ways this skin is holding you back. So it feels like a thick skin, maybe trying not to take things personally, just a protection that you've put up over your heart. So I do feel like I want to remove that. I feel like this Constantina door, or whatever you call it, here that you can open and close at the front of your heart. I kind of feel like that's enough. That's the sense that I have in keeping your heart protected and keeping your boundaries up and that sort of thing. So I feel like the membrane behind it, like the skin behind it, I feel like that's not needed. It feels tight and it feels like it hasn't been shed when it should have been shed as you've grown. So as we grow, things, our boundaries and all these sorts of things also change. So how are we going to shift this? What I feel like I want to do is cut a circle. So it's a bit like what? It feels like we've got a teepee, and the teepee is covered in skin and there's no opening. And I feel like I just want to cut a circular opening into this skin, into this membrane, the skin, the membrane, this layer of this tent or this teepee. So we cut a circle here. Imagine cutting a circle here at your heart and creating a bit of a door here, a door. Now, as this sort of door, as it opens up, it actually breaks away here at the sort of hinge. So this actually lifts off. It opens up and it lifts off. And it feels like the rest of the skin wants to stay, just like a teepee. But this front area definitely wants to go. It's become too tight here. So opening that up. Now, as this is opened up, and as these doors are open as well in your heart, and fresh air's coming in, and it feels so refreshing, so cool and refreshing. It feels quite beautiful. I'm drawn down now, back down to your belly. And already this sort of hammock, this bag, very heavy, liquidy, browny energy, emotion, we could say. This is already starting to move. So we've got the areas where it's pinned here at the waist. These is already loosening. So if there were two nails that nailed it in, the nails have already loosened. And we can just pull these nails out and let this bag just drop down to the earth where it returns back to love. And let all that old but also current emotion that you've been holding on to, Nicki, that you've been bottling up, to drop it away, to let it go. And there's something really freeing now in this feeling in your body. It feels really free and light, like a great burden has been shifted. So just letting that go. And now I feel this whole area, so from the side of your waist all around the front, it feels like it's sort of been covered or is soaking up. This beautiful turquoise green light is coming in here, and it's holding here on the outside, but it's also soaking inside, soaking into your belly, into your sacral chakra, into your navel, into your waist. And this feels nice. So I trust this resonates. Let's grab a card to add here, Nikki. See what this wants to add here at the end. So the best card to add at this point, Nikki, as we finish off, is from the second deck. And we have, oh, this is great, card 103. The runway is clear. I'm going to read this. It says the way is clear. All that needs to be done is done. A new arrival. Everything is on track. Manifestation. Walk ahead. Celebrate. A job well done. So everything that needs to be done has been done. And this is you now here waiting at the precipice, waiting here for the arrival to come, for the date to arrive, for the runway to be clear, and for you to start moving or continue moving and moving forward. I feel like moving towards something in your life. It could be a goal, an aim, a date, something for you to look forward to, something to incentivize you to keep going. There's this sort of feeling here with this. So the runway is clear. It certainly is. Thank you so much, Nikki. Thanks for your support, and I trust this resonates with you. Namaste. Okay, let's see who's next. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. Next person is Jane Corlett. Jane, please take a nice big breath. And I'm going to start by pulling a card for you. The best card that you need as we start this connection is here. It's Healing Energy Cards, Deck 1, and it is Abundance. We haven't seen this card for quite some time. It's card 39, and it talks about abundance, good things, good flow, positive thoughts, opportunities, good health, giving and receiving, and this nice sense of flow, this coming in and this coming out. So this like a balance. It's like the balance between our in-breath and our out-breath, or what we give and what we receive, and what we receive and what we give, that sort of energy. So this balance is very nice here with this particular card. So the first thing I'm picking up with your energy, Jane, is just to push across. Like it feels a bit like a wind that's sort of pulling you to the side. Now, is it pulling you to the side? I'm just sort of asking out loud. Is it pulling you to the side because there's some sort of shift in your direction, a shift in your path, or is there something trying to knock you off balance? I sort of feel like there's something that's trying to change your course a little bit, or it could even be a lot. Because how I feel, wherever we're facing is under our feet is our path that leads forward. And wherever behind us is our path that leads from the past. So where we've walked and where we've come from, that's led us to this moment. So typically when I feel energy that's pulling us to the side, to either side like that, there seems usually an energy that's trying to push us off our path because we're still facing forward, but there's an energy that's trying to pull us across. But what I'm feeling with your energy here, Jane, is that there's an energy that's trying to pull you across and get you to turn so that your path just adjusts and changes a little bit. So what I'm going to do is turn with this. So it's pulling across and it's wanting you to turn and shift just a little bit here. So it makes me feel that there's something that's trying to adjust or change your course, something that's trying to change your direction just slightly in a different direction. So the direction that you're going, it wants to change just ever so slightly. So instead of being facing this way that you were going, it's like something's wanting you just to steer yourself over a little bit. So I'm being steered over to the right. So the right side tends to be the more masculine side within us. It also pulls us towards the future, which makes sense because we're here looking ahead and we're looking at where you're going. So looking at where you're going, allowing some shifts to take place in your life now. It could be things that happen. It could be choices or options or decisions or opportunities that you're considering and you're seriously considering because there's a chance of you sort of switching course a little bit or adjusting your trajectory ever so slightly. But ever so slightly can take us, I mean, it might feel ever so slightly here where we're just going from here to here, but actually when we go ahead, there's actually the path it changes a lot from the original trajectory once we get further ahead. So we're going this way, and if we make an adjustment here, we might be staying quite close to that path before, but as we get further away, that opens up. So it does feel like, even though the adjustment may feel slight, whatever it is that you're making, or this decision that you're making right now, the opportunity that you're considering, that might feel like just a slight deviation from your course that you're on before. But I feel like as you go, it's going to reveal that something's actually quite different than where you thought you were going before, which is certainly not a bad thing. I feel like this is like an orchestrated thing. I feel like this is the universe supporting you and showing you behind the scenes that there is something quite profound that's preparing to open up. And I feel like this is really supported well with this abundance card as well that I pulled for you before, Jane. So you can trust in the direction you're going. And I feel like, because you might find right now you're in this sort of pivotal moment, you're at the crossroads. What should I do? How should I approach this? Who should I reach out to? What should I apply for? All these kinds of things are all probably playing out that are helping you make that adjustment that's required. So I feel like it's something concrete. It's not something necessarily that's just an idea. I feel like this is something that you're probably actioning in some way as a choice or a decision or an opportunity or an application, or something that's quite real and tangible. And something perhaps connected to with paper. So it could be paperwork or some type of application, I feel, that's around at the moment. So trust whatever is at your fingertips right now, or whatever's sort of placed in front of you, or whatever you're kind of drawn to, because I feel like this is all part of this adjustment and this change in trajectory, which feels really positive, in this positive direction that you're going. So it's slightly to the right here of where you were facing before. So now I'm being drawn down to your feet, Jane. So your feet for grounding. And I'm just going to put my feet flat here on the ground. So I feel like there's a lot of energy that's come in and accumulating around your feet, like a cloud-like earthy energy, but it feels very soft, very cloud-like, very kind of woolen, but soft, a soft wool, a downy kind of feeling here that's wrapping around your feet. So it feels really comforting and supportive, very grounding. It's quite red, quite a red, earthy sort of feeling here. So it's also bringing you back down to earth, back down to the things that matter, and figuring things out in a practical, real way, a real life way. So this is helping you, I think, make the choices that you need. I feel like you have these papers out in front of you, these options, and it could be even different things that you're applying for example, if it might be something to do with a job or something like this, or a project of some sort. I feel like 4 stacks of paper, and you probably apply for everything or whatever speaks to you. There might be some that you throw out, and then as a result of that, something potentially will open up, is the feeling. So trust in your instincts. I feel like you have very strong gut instincts here with this particular situation, Jane. I can feel your gut instincts really activated. So that sense of knowing in your gut what you need to do, or what feels strongest, what needs to drop away potentially, but what you can act upon. So it's something more tangible and physical than just an idea or an inspiration. It is something that you can action, something that you can take to that next level. So it feels really good. I think trust your intuition, trust your instincts, stay grounded, and follow through with the things that you need to action. So if the paperwork's been sitting for a while, I would certainly be making some time to go through that paperwork so that you can get that adjustment made at this crossroads. And then it's going to be very exciting to see the trajectory that you are moving on, especially as time passes, because it's going to reveal itself more as time passes on. So, okay, Jane, let's grab a card to add here as we finish up this connection. And the best card to add is this. It's from Healing Energy Cards Deck 2, and it is Ride the Wave. Ride the wave, card 95. It says a wave of chaos and change. Ride it. Do your best. Take a break if needed. The storm always passes. Take action on the facts, not assumptions. That fits in really well with what I was talking about. Take action on the facts, not assumptions, and flow. So there is something quite strong about what you can do on the ground. How can you apply things? What can you apply for? What can you do? What action can you take? Because this is critical, I feel, at this sort of turning point juncture that I'm feeling that you're at anyway, Jane. I trust this resonates with you. Thanks so much for your support, and I'll connect with you again soon. Thanks, Jane. Okay, let's just tuck these cards away and we will see who's next. So the best, well, not the best, the person that needs the next connection is this person. And it is Jackie. Welcome, Jackie. Let's grab a card for you and tune in and see what's coming up. I've got a bit of a nervousy feeling in the belly, a bit of butterflies here as I'm connecting with you, Jackie. But let's grab a card and then we'll just look a bit further into that. So the best card to start your connection, Jackie, is this Healing Energy Cards Deck 2. And it is Tell the Truth. I mean, this is pretty out there, this card. It's card 90. It says, be clear and honest. Speak up. Use your voice. Don't speak on behalf of others. Speak for yourself. No excuses. Sing throat chakra. Let it out and express. So this is bringing highlight to not only the words that you say, the throat chakra, but also what you're expressing. So expression is keeping the energy moving. It's a good example of that is when I'm connecting in these types of connections. So I'm feeling what I feel, or I have the vision or the sense of what I'm picking up. Then I have to find a way to articulate and verbalize that to keep the energy moving. So it's expression helps keep the energy moving, whether we're saying it or we're creating something, or even writing something can also help keep the energy moving. So something wants to move here, something wants to move out and through, and something's very highlighted here around your throat chakra. But I want to move down to your belly because I'm feeling some butterflies, a bit of anxiety or nerves here in the belly. Like this is a feeling that we usually have before we start something new. So before we step into the unknown, we might feel a bit of uncertainty or a twang of, eek, is it going to work out? You know, this sort of feeling. So there's some butterflies here that I'm feeling in your belly, down in your sacral chakra, but also up in your solar plexus. So it shows me that I get this feeling that there's something that you're preparing to move towards. And it's most likely the unknown, because if you're moving towards something you already knew about, let's say you had a gathering or something with people you already know, you're probably not really going to feel that nervous about it. But if you're stepping into something new, something you haven't done before, then this is usually when we feel these things. So there's a feeling here that you're about to start something new. You're about to step into the unknown. You're about to move through what feels to me like a cave tunnel, a tunnel that goes through a cave or through a mountain. So more like a train tunnel, sort of feels like that. It feels dark in there, but it's like this opening within the mountain. And I feel like there's a cut through feeling here. So instead of climbing up over the mountain to the other side, it's like carving a way through the mountain. So the mountain typically represents an obstacle that maybe is what I'm sensing is you might be looking for a way through it that's easier than trying to climb over it. So I see this obstacle in front of you, and before now, because I'm seeing this tunnel now, before now you've perhaps assessed, how am I going to get over this challenge, this obstacle? I can perhaps go the long route and try and climb over it and come out the other side, hopefully. but it feels like hard work. Like that feels like hard work to try and climb. It feels like quite a steep mountain. It goes up to quite a peak, quite a pinnacle up there, and then down the other side. So I think there's a question, can I survive this challenge? Can I survive this obstacle if I try and climb over it? Like, it feels like there's a survival question here. Can I survive this trek? I may have been able to 30 years ago, but I don't know if I can now. So there's a feeling here of assessing the obstacle, the size of it, the survival chances of it, I guess. But then deciding or determining maybe some weeks ago that you're better off to find or create a, is it a quicker or a faster route? A better route. And the better route is through the mountain. So it's through this tunnel. So the thing is, though, with this tunnel is what I'm feeling, even though it's the easier route through, it's the easier path, it does have a feeling of blackness now. So there is an unknown element to it as well. So it could be, say, maybe some weeks ago you were faced with two choices around this obstacle. You can either do it this way or you can either do it that way. So maybe from an expert or something you assessed, and that there is this decision that was made to go through it, which to me feels like a good move. It feels like a good decision. So as you approach this tunnel, as you approach the unknown, because the blackness in here, this is representing the unknown. And I suppose, that's another interesting thing to bring up, is the mountain obstacle is all in light. So it sort of feels like if you chose to climb the mountain, it's all revealed, like it's all under light. So it shows me that either you've been through a situation like this quite similar before in the past, or that the plan or the map was charted out quite clearly as to what might happen if you took this route over the mountain. But the path going through the mountain, this is all in darkness. So there is an unknown element here. And so I can feel the feeling perhaps of powerlessness, but certainly some tingly butterflies here in the belly as you approach this tunnel. So I feel like you're close to walking into it. I feel like there's only a few steps that need to be taken now before you actually enter the darkness, we could say, which is enter the unknown. And even though it feels scary and very dark in there, it is the best route to take because it takes you through the mountain, and it will take you out the other side. And whatever's revealed in here, or whatever you can confront in here, is going to be an absolute gift in regards to your growth and your and I also feel in strengthening you will be strengthened by going through this tunnel. So whatever this represents, I'm not sure what this specifically represents, but this is how I'm feeling it. So what I feel I'd like to do now, as you prepare to step into the blackness, into the unknown that's before you, is to focus on strengthening you. So I feel this energy, it's like a power, it's like a force, it's like an electricity. It's a power that's coming up from the earth, and it's coming straight up into the soles of your feet. If you were standing upright, vertical, it's coming up into the soles of your feet, and it's pushing up through your legs, pushing up through your hips, your torso, your neck, up through your head, down your arms, and it's expanding out, almost exploding out like a fire. So it is quite the force. It's a fiery force. It's an electric force, and it's moving up through your body and out through the crown of your head and then around your body. And then it comes back down to the soles of your feet, and it does it again, up, out, and around. So it's helping bring energy, power, strength through from the earth up into your body, and then expanding it out into your aura, also helping strengthen your thoughts, your mind, and strengthen your boundaries as you move forward into the blackness and into the unknown, whatever you're preparing for here, as you step forward. I feel slight hesitation as you have these few steps to go before you go into the blackness. So you there might be a little bit of resistance or hesitation, which is very normal when we're about to hit something that we don't know what's going to happen with this thing. But I do feel it would be helpful if you could just, if you could, and I'll take the just out, if you could keep building your strength and keep stepping forward. And if you step forward, like it's like, oh, I don't really want to do this and I feel hesitant and scared and nervous, but I just want to get this over and done with. So there is a sense that once you gather your strength here in this moment, I feel like then you will courageously and with really strong, bold steps, step into the tunnel and then keep that momentum going. Even though you can't see, you can't hear, you don't know what's going to happen. But I feel the momentum that you're building in strength now, and as you, instead of tiptoeing through and then stopping and looking and being paralyzed and then basically dragging it out for longer than it needs to, I feel like building the strength now and then gathering that strong momentum as you step forward into the unknown, into the blackness, and then keep stepping forward so you can get through it and out of it as quickly as possible. So I feel that this courageous strength to be able to step, a strength to take the steps is what I'm feeling now. So this strength has been just building and gathering and growing within you and surrounding you as well, preparing you to ready yourself, not just physically as you step, but mentally, as you mentally go, right, I'm just going to go for this. I'm just going to see what happens and I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to go for it as courageously as I can, face whatever's I need to face as I move, and get through this as quickly as possible. And that kind of attitude, I feel really strong coming through. So I trust that makes sense for you, Jackie. That seems very, very specific. So I hope that fits into something you've got going on. Thank you. Let's grab a card to add here as we finish up. So the best card to add for right now, what I would be doing too is I'd keep building your strength if this resonates with you, Jackie. Keep working with your breathing, keep building your strength physically. You might want to do a bit of exercise, a bit of walking, and building your strength mentally so that you can kind of wind up the engine, rev things up and then step and go. So it's like getting the engine all fueled up, all revved up and warmed up, and then off you go, that sort of feeling. So the best card to add here is this from Healing Energy Cards, Deck 1, and we have card 42, Self-Confrontation. Have courage to look in the mirror, come out of hiding, face off, so remove the masks, care about how you feel, so listen to how you feel, stop holding back, create a new safe zone. Now, creating a new safe zone suggests that, or creating a new comfort zone suggests that you're stepping out of your comfort zone with this. And honesty. So this goes very well with your tell the truth card. So there's probably things that need to be said, or even just something that questions and answers that you need to ask yourself, a dialogue that you can run through just so you can get clear about what you want to do, how you're going to do it, what your attitude's going to be, how you feel about it, how scared you are, whatever the questions might be. So that inner dialogue is probably going to be really important to also get you strong in the mind, so that so that you're prepared as you step into that blackness before you. So there's probably some things that you're going to have to confront, some fear you're going to have to confront, maybe some monsters you're going to have to confront in that tunnel. But I do feel like you've chosen the best option, whatever this situation is, I don't know. But I feel like you've chosen the best option. I feel like it's going to be easier going through this tunnel than it would be climbing over the mountain in the lights. I feel like the effort to do that would have been massive. So whatever this is, I feel like you've made the right choice. You're going to need to confront things, but you're going to come out this other side so much stronger than you are now before you enter. So I trust that makes some sense for you. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks for your support, and namaste. Okay, these are strong connections coming in today, aren't they? But this means lucky last person. Thanks, Jackie. Yes, yes, that's really good. The last person here is Susan Sonsteng. So I'll just tuck these cards back and we'll connect in with your energy, Susan. So I'm going to go straight for a card. The best card that you need right now as we start this connection, Susan, is... Whew, got a bit of a sickly feeling. There's a lot of belly action today. A bit of a sickly feeling in the belly. We've got healing energy cards, deck 1. And we have, this is funny, self-acceptance. It's funny because I'll let you know when I read this out. It says assistance with weight loss, clearing emotional baggage, blocked creativity and stagnant sexual energy, acceptance, and stomach area healing. So yeah, no joke. Self-acceptance. This locks straight into the belly, to the sacral chakra. So the energy just below the navel is the sacral chakra. That's our center for emotional, sexual, creative energies. It feels hollow and sickly in here. Like I feel nauseous. And I feel more nauseous as the moments are passing. The nauseous feeling starts in the belly, but it also feel it moving up. This is actually a very good sign because the nauseous energy shows me that there is energy that wants to move. It wants to move up. It wants to move out. So when we feel nauseous, we don't really want to vomit, but sometimes there's something a bit yucky that's going on in our belly. So bringing it up and out is a way to kind of get that energy moving or get that yuck that our body doesn't like, to get that out. So it's not that I'm going to be sitting here vomiting, but there is energy that wants to move up and out. That's what the nauseous energy, it tends to feel like. Like there's something here that wants to go, it wants to be released, it wants to be let go of. It wants to be out and free of the body and cleared of the body. So the sacral chakra is usually where we hold this bottled up emotion. So there's something that I feel has been stored down here, Susan, but also something that you're ready to release and that you're ready to let go of, and maybe you're ready to confront and face now that you perhaps weren't ready to face before. It could be something quite old, could be something from your past or your childhood that you weren't ready to deal with at the time, but there is something that feels to me like there's a readiness now. Maybe there's a perspective that you've reached where you're seeing this situation differently than you did, say, years ago, or something has shifted, something has healed within you or healed within the relationship or the connection with this particular situation from the past. Something's changed to be able to, something's changed to bring this position of readiness for release. So it wants to be released. It feels heavy. At the same time, it feels hollow, which is strange. So it feels kind of heavy. It sort of sits heavy, but the heaviness feels hollow. So it feels like there's a hollowness. We could also say something may feel missing or hollow or absent that you may have been feeling within you, Susan, especially on an emotional level. So it could be something that an area or something where you're not being emotionally fulfilled or emotionally content or feeling emotionally satisfied. There might be something that just feels missing or absent, perhaps on an emotional level. And so this energy wants to move, it wants to come up. And I just want to see if there's anything else that we need to talk about down here. So it seems to be expanding around to your lower back. So it does show, again, a highlight that this connects with your past, emotional energy, especially emotional, that connects with the past. But I keep feeling that it's like an absence of something emotional. So it could even be like it could even go back, for an example, down to an absence in a mother figure or a father figure, and then looking to fulfill that throughout your life. So let's say your mother, as an example, if your mother figure wasn't there from when you were very young, you may have found that you were trying to attract or go into relationships or connections with people that were always trying to fulfill that absence of feeling. So usually it could come down to the mother or the father energy that was absent, or something else that you feel was absent. It could have been love. If we're looking at relationships or intimate relationships, it could be a sense of love that just seemed absent in relationships. So there's something I feel that goes back to those early sort of times that feels like it was absent, an emotion that was absent. So it feels hollow, it feels missing, it feels absent, and it feels a bit sickly. So there's an energy that wants to come out, but at the same time, there's an energy that wants to come in, because I feel like there's something that wants to be fulfilled, or a gap that wants to be filled, or a space that wants to be taken, or something that was missing that wants to be found. So it's kind of a strange energy where I feel this energy that wants to release. This could be the pain of it that you've held, the absence of it, what's been missing, the separation that contains. It could be that energy that wants to be released, and then the fulfillment, or bringing that energy in a rich and honest and supportive, healthy way that wants to come in. So it's very interesting energy. So let's go with the releasing, because I'm still feeling that, and I felt that right from the start. So let's take some nice big breaths. And as you take some deep breaths, Susan, allow your belly, so your diaphragm and your belly, so your lungs, your diaphragm, your belly, to fill up with air as you're breathing in. So draw it down deep, deep into your lungs, deep into your diaphragm, deep into your belly, and then breathing out and sort of letting all that air that you've just brought in, letting all that go. So out from your belly, out from your diaphragm, out from your lungs, breathing all that air out. So sort of it feels like the bellows, or feels like we're blowing up a balloon, and just really feeling that balloon up, and then getting all the air out of that balloon as we breathe it out. But I feel like we need to go right down deep into the belly, and we can only access that if we go past the lungs as we're breathing. Lungs, diaphragm, belly. So really poke your belly out as you're filling it up with air. And this is a good thing for any of us to do if you feel like you want to. So just take a few deep breaths like this if you can, and we'll build the energy and build the momentum up for release. So let's now breathe out. On our next out breath, let's breathe out all of the air that we have in our body, and draw the breath in. Lungs, diaphragm, belly. And on the out breath, if we can hold it, on the out breath, we're going to force out all of that old air and old energy now. So let's force it out. Until we can't breathe out any further. Breathing it out. So as we're breathing out, we've built this energy up, we've gathered it, and we're breathing it out. And we're breathing it out in a way through our mouth. So it's come up, and breathing out. Now I can already feel this nauseous energy backing off. And in fact, even the hollow feeling seems to have gone. So it's probably breathing out the feelings of absence, and the feeling of something missing, or the feeling of separation that's been connected with this. Because the hollowness has certainly subsided, and the nausea has also subsided. So just keep now just slowly breathing, and let's bring some energy in. Let's bring some energy in. So what do we need to bring in? We need to bring in love, and whatever that love is, specifically what that love is that feels like it's been missing. So the love of, could be someone listening, could be a nurturing, could be a protection, could be just love, it could be an intimacy. Whatever it is. And we might know, Susan, you might be able to, clearly define what this love is that you know that you need and that's felt like it's missing. Or it could be an energy that you bring in that is love, and then it will settle and fill that void in your body, that void in your life, and that void in your belly. So take another nice big breath in as we breathe in love. So I'm imagining this as like a soft pink, cloud-like, fairy floss-like energy that's been breathed in. So it's hovering here just outside our faces, and we're breathing it in, and we're breathing in this love. And this love will find this spaces or the gaps, the separation, the areas that are hollow, and fill those areas with love, and the love that we need, or specifically you, Susan, what you need as you breathe this love in. And it fills the gaps. And what I feel it doing is coming down, and when it gets down to your belly, it kind of fills in this little gap here on the left and this little gap here on the right. And it fills this up just really gently, gently and lovingly. It feels very feminine, this energy. So it feels like it's probably a nurturing, like being cared for, a nurturing feeling that you may have felt absent. And as that fills you up, it also potentially reminds you, Susan, to embrace that energy in some ways yourself, instead of waiting for others to offer it to you, or to care for you or nurture you or love you in the way that you want to be loved. How can you love yourself better or more in the way that you need to be loved? So sometimes, especially if we're wounded like this, we could be waiting for it to come from our mother, our grandmother, our auntie, our friends, our partner, all these people in our life that we could just probably reel off and go, they have never offered me this. But actually the best source of finding this is to be that person for yourself. So how, if it is, say, a caring and nurturing, a feminine energy, a motherly energy, how can you find that and be that and embrace that for yourself instead of putting it onto others? And when we've had a wound, I think it's natural because we're looking for it, especially if it's come from, say, a mother figure that we perhaps haven't had earlier in our life. We can look for that in others. But actually this is a great gift in showing you that you can access and create that love and nurturing that you need. You can create that for yourself. So I feel this energy coming in and it's settling down into your belly. It's so gentle and loving and nurturing, and it settles down in there, and it feels really settled and very calm and extremely peaceful. So thank you, Susan. Let's grab a card to add here. So the best card to add as we finish up this connection is, so for you, Susan, we'll finish up with this card. It's from Healing Energy Cards, Deck 1. It is Illusion, card 32. So I think this is highlighting what I was talking about here, because it's showing things aren't what they appear. If you're uncertain about something, seek more information. The unknown can become your new reality, but you might not be able to see it yet. Stay true to your morals. Okay, so that's not exactly what I'm feeling from this card with you. This is an octopusy sort of figure. It's holding a rose and it's tempting you down. And there's also a reflection here in the mirror. So reflecting you down, attracting you down this path, but there's an illusion playing out as well. So the illusion tends to be aligned with or tangled up with our wounds and the wounds that we carry from our life. And they are and feel very real, but they are illusion. They are not aligned with the truth. So as the truth is revealed, the illusion drops away. So the illusion, these are the wounds that you've released, the wounds that you're allowing to be released and let go of, and the truth that you're tapping into, especially in regards to being careful not to seek what is missing externally in other people or situations. And we usually, if it's happened for a long time since we were a child, for example, it can happen throughout our whole life, just over and over again. It's like a pattern. And then one day, hopefully, we wake up and go, oh, actually, that I was looking for in my mother figure, or this person, that person, this person, throughout my whole life, like the common thread in all these issues is me. So realizing that I need to offer what I'm looking for in others. I need to offer that for me, and I need to practice that and refine that and fulfill what's missing in me for me, that I'm the only one that can really do that. That's the moving out of the illusion or the wound that keeps the pattern going, and moving into the truth. And the truth is that I can actually do something about this by looking for what I need and fulfilling that for myself. And then if I receive anything like that from others, that is a bonus. But I'm not going to expect it, and I'm not going to put a pressure on other people around me to fulfill something that is not potentially important to them, and probably something they're not even aware of. So I feel like this is this moving out of the illusion and aligning with the truth, and aligning with the truth of what you can do about this today, what you can do about this now. So I trust that makes sense. Thanks, Susan. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching and connecting today. Thank you so much. And thanks, Susan. Thanks for your support. Thank you, everyone, for your support. I will be back again in 2 days for our healing list event, which must be Saturday morning, my time anyway. So I might see you then. And take care of yourself. If you'd like to be a part of this next month, you can have a look in the video description. You'll find a link to my Patreon. Thanks so much, and goodbye for now.